And welcome back. On the Technicals, I do 3D printing here at home to see if I can find products, print them, and sell them on the internet to make a little side income. I'm learning about 3D printers as I move along, do some giveaways here and there, so be sure to subscribe to the channel, follow along in the process. Maybe you can learn something from my mistakes. So what am I working on today? Well, always something new and fresh and exciting going on. Let's see what's on the plates. All right, so I was feeling a little bored with the giant dummy 13 pieces, and I'm like, let's get something else going on here to kind of look at. So over here, well, Cobra 1's still doing his because he's in stable mode, he's way up there. But I got the knee and elbow sections of the dummy 13 down here on 3, PET G, so it's not coming off without some kind of tool. Over here, running the PET G Pro from Elegoo because it was actually cheaper than the Rapid PET G. I guess maybe they've got some stock issues. So I picked up a case of that. Again, if you want to buy any Elegoo products, links in the description. My link, I get a commission. But I got the PET G Pro running over here. The finish is a lot glossier. I kind of like it. I've got the same thing on the Soball, and it looks it looks like the you're seeing it with me live right now. It looks like the roller I put together actually snapped. Good thing I abandoned that project, huh? But we're 75% of the way. I'm guessing it's gonna keep working. I mean, it's been working this whole time, so I'm gonna leave it alone. But the Soball over here running swimmingly, really nice finish, really smooth and crispy. So it's I'm just gonna let it run and do its thing. This should be the last of the dummy 13 pieces at 1300% that I need. So those will be finishing up probably today. So hopefully we can start kind of piecing that together. All right, so over here on the P1P, if you recall, my main business has nothing to do with 3D printing. It's smoke shops, head shops. And if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know way back I printed a bunch of these rolling trays, and I printed them and just gave them away because it was around the holiday time. I forget which holiday, maybe Black Friday or something like that. Or maybe it was before that, I'm not sure. But we just gave them away. Like if you spent more than 50 bucks or something like that, I just gave them away. But someone in the comments suggested I look into a dab station. Now, I don't dab, except this kind of dab. Dab. I do that all the time. But dab stations are for people that like to self-medicate, I suppose. And they told me to look into that. And I'm like, all right, because the trays that I sent out went over really well. And I think we actually started selling them for like something like $5, something cheap. So I went and got this model. This is a dab station. It's meant to hold all your little dab tools. I actually got 3 different models of dab stations. So this is just a concept print, like, to kind of see what's going on there. I think what I'll do is it's got a logo on it here. I'm just gonna erase that logo and put the logo for my business on it. And then do another giveaway kind of thing. Just give these away, maybe sell them for a few dollars. Maybe give away ones that are all in black, and then print some in like some silk or something like that, and sell those for just a small fee. It's really more of a promo item, a loss leader, than anything else, but excited about that. Over here on the A1, I did another set of armor pieces for the 300% size dummy 13, because I want to get the right color combo, because this is just the skeleton of that big life-size robot. I have to print the armor pieces too, but I don't really want, I don't know if I want to print all the same color armor. I was thinking of mixing and matching it, so I figured blue and white is kind of like my colors. So I've got the dummy in white already, so I printed a round of blue armor pieces to mix and match and kind of find it and hone it, and then when I'm satisfied with that, then I can print the life-size versions in the specific colors, because printing this at 1300% is going to take probably 8 spools of filament. It's going to be a lot, because like for instance, this chest piece, this just one upper chest piece is, I believe, even at like a not very thick, because this part doesn't need to be as thick as the skeleton. I think it was 700 or 800 grams. So almost a spool, one whole spool is going to be just for this chest piece, which is, the largest, if not, one of the largest pieces. But if you think about that, like if this is a whole spool, how many other full spools is it going to require to do, like, the calf section or the thighs or the arms or, the head? The head's a lot too, because it's very thick and round and full and it needs a lot of support. So That's what's going on there. We're gonna pull those off and try to mix and match that a little bit. And yesterday, our sponsored print from Ujoy Bio, we pulled that off the printer, took a look at that, and I noticed I had like 3, 4, like 4.5, close to 5 spools left. And so I'm like, well, let's just go ahead and do another print of something else. It's not like the sponsored print, but let's just go ahead and go for it. So I'm printing that here. This is one of those floor vases. If you remember, I printed one in orange and it had some like top surface issues, and the same thing on the Moai head. It was just characteristic of the big, thick layered, big, thick layers. So I did a 0.5 layer height, and I also increased the walls to 3. So I think that's gonna alleviate some of the issues. Let's take a look real quick. So you can see 3 wall loops on this thing. That's pretty heavy, but like on these overhanging sections, you can see it's not really showing any of that gapping, which is kind of what I was trying to avoid. So it seems like it's coming out pretty good. I'm optimistic about that because, you know, really all my experience before I got the Giga was like with 0.4 nozzle, and now I'm running a 1mm nozzle. And so things like layer width and height, like, you know, they have a much larger effect when you scale up to things that are super huge. So I'm gonna count that as a win, but you really won't know until I get to the very, very tippity top. And I kind of did this with knowing like how much filament I had. I scaled it based on that. So it's coming in at like 3,800 grams roughly. So that should bring me down to having like, you know, basically half a spool left. It's not enough to reattempt it if it does fail, but overall it's looking pretty good. All right, so let's get all of these things, put them in our little basket, take them in the office, and see how they look. And so a lot of developments yesterday, printing a lot of these dummy 13 parts in life size. So I had all the printers chooching, did some of these on the Adventurer 5M Pro from Flashforge. Once again, thanks for sending that over. Honestly, I'm really liking this Adventurer 5M Pro as a rapid prototyping sort of unit, because I keep it under my desk, and you know, I kind of felt weird about doing that. Like, you know, Flashforge was sending me over this printer, I'm stuffing it under my desk, but it's like the printer, it's right next to me, so I'm always using it because it's just right there and it's all self-enclosed, so I don't have to worry about dropping things into it. Loading the filament is a little funny. That's kind of like my one gripe about it thus far, is because when filament runs out, there's no pulling it out. It's you take the tube out, you snip it, and then you load it, and so it just, whatever's left, it burns it, and then you load the second, you know, the replacement filament, and you just kind of push it through, and then it loads it. But when it's doing that, you know, it's extruding, you know, it's priming, just kind of out onto the plate, just out into space. So, you know, maybe in future models, they'll kind of address that, you know, and I know that, yeah, kind of like on the Cobras and the other models, when I do it and I prime it, you know, I'll just go to the nozzle and like, you know, kind of brush off that little bit that pushes through. So, you know, every machine's kind of quirky like that, but overall the performance is doing great, because here is one of the fists I printed for the Dummy 13. Again, this is meant to be life size, so, you know, hand for scale. No supports whatsoever. The only thing I noticed, a little bit of on the bridging here, where it's just bridging out into space. I'm not sure if it's gonna really pick up. Like a slight stringing. Here, I found one string, and then boom, it's gone. But overall, you know, the finish underneath, yeah, I just don't know if that's ever gonna pick up. It looks great. This is PET-G, Rapid PET-G from Elegoo. You know, running at 260 with, you know, stock speed settings on the Adventurer 5M Pro. The inside perimeter is kind of an area I'm always looking for, because I feel like, you know, if it's not cooling rapidly enough or it's going too fast or whatever, it's going to do that thing where it doesn't stick and just pulls out into space. But otherwise, I mean, this is like his right fist, so he can like grab weapons and whatnot. So it came out great. This is the bottom. This is the top. I reduced the shell layers to 3. Just to kind of like save on some filament, because it's pretty rigid as it is. I mean, this thing doesn't need to hold up a dump truck. I mean, it's going to be sufficient. So that one looking really good. And then also on the FLSUN T1 Pro, I did this one. So in another, you know, kind of constantly using these printers day to day, kind of learning about some of the quirks and things on the T1 Pro, kind of nailed down replacing filament on that as well. It's just, you know, every printer is different. The build plate on the T1 Pro could be a little, because it's round, you're not able to, like, if something's really big, you're not able to like put it on a diagonal like you would another printer to fit it in. But the plate's decently big enough for most things. And again, the speed is unbelievable. And I'm using stock Orca settings, which to my understanding are a lot faster than the stock settings on FLSun's version of Orca. And I wasn't aware of that. I just went right into Orca and with stock settings and their stock, you know, PETG profile, PLA profiles that are in Orca, but I'm getting amazing, amazing results. Another, so this is his left hand. Again, 3 top shell layers, 3 bottom shell layers, 3 wall loops, and I think it's like 12% infill, because I'm really trying to like conserve, you know, but not be too chintzy on the PETG filament. But again, the inside overhangs, again, Elegoo Rapid PETG Plus. Inside perimeters, great. Top surface finish, great. Not even really stringy. It came out great. I'm looking for something to say like kind of negative about it, because I don't want people to like be like, they paid you to say that, you just love FLSun, you're just saying that so they'll send you more printers. Like, I'm looking for something bad to say, and maybe that's because I'm on the novice end of 3D printing. I don't know very, very deeply about this stuff, but I think that makes me a little more real for the, you know, the average viewer that might not be a genius in 3D printing. I loaded it up and go, and I'm getting exactly what I want at great results. So this is really cool. Came off the FLSun T1 Pro. Really happy with that one. So to compare a little bit, this came off my Cobra 2 Max. So this is big, and this will only fit on the Cobra 2 Max because I put it diagonal so it'll fit on that big build plate. Overall, the surface finish came out pretty good on this one. You know, like on the overhangs here, this was run with no supports at all. Just brim. And so a little fussy here on this bridging on the inside because it was printing face down like this. Not too bad over here. Again, no supports there. I just took a deburring tool and kind of took off the brim that way. Pretty strong. Again, same settings, 3 wall loops. It's like between 10 and 15% gyroid infill, just to make it a little more malleable. Here's another one that came off a Cobra 2 Max. So I did this one with supports because I was a little worried about the length of the bridging between these units because it sits like that. But overall, top surface finish looks fine. I mean, I guess because I run the Cobras pretty slow. So I'm getting, you know, it's a little bubbly here, which is that's kind of interesting too. Like, can we go back to like the T1 Pro? I didn't dry out the PETG at all before running it. And like, if I look at like where it first started printing, because this is a brand new spool I started with, you know, I'm looking for like bubbling or signs of that, of it not being dry. Everyone's like, it's gotta be so dry. I'm just not seeing it. I see it on the Cobras, but not on these other printers that are way faster. So maybe it's just going so fast, it doesn't have time to like evaporate. I don't know. Really happy with that. Those should finish up today. And then we can get into starting to spec out our model here. And again, you know, the whole purpose of this is to kind of check the viability. I'm gonna make more in this size range, maybe like a 500%, and just list them at like, I don't know, $20 or something like that. Maybe a little more, because it does take a little time to assemble this. But this is in white, and like I was saying, I wanted to print different color combinations, because if I'm printing this life-size version, I don't want just one uniform color. I think it would be better to kind of jazz it up a little bit with some like variance in color. So I'm gonna go through today and kind of play a little Tetris with the color combination. Let me know what you think in the comments, what might look best. If I like, you know, just go in like torso in a blue, or just legs blue, top white. I thought about doing it because, you know, your boy, steal this fit, huh? And I'm just saying, like, this is, you know, all the rage in Milan. Khaki pants, black top. That's what we've been rolling for the past 12 years, and hey, it's working out for me. But I don't really know if people are gonna wanna get khaki panted, blue poloed dummy 13, so I'm gonna go with the blue and white variants. Gonna be working on that today as well. And to finally, our little dab station here. Like I was saying, I've got 2 other dab station models. I'm gonna get those going on probably the bamboos today, just to kind of stamp them out and go, and maybe try a couple different color variants. You know, I'm not sure what people are really looking for in a dab station, but these are very popular models. Just a little area to keep your dab stuff, I suppose. So I'm gonna do the other ones and kind of take them in to work and ask the people who are smarter than me, who do the buying and the dealing with these things all day and can, you know, kind of look at analytics and stuff and say like, you know, that'll perform, that won't, do this, don't do that. And then from there I can kind of hone in the process or maybe even merge some of these models, scale them up, scale them down, etc. It's the benefit to having very large printers, because if someone wants a dab station, but this is like, you know, a little small for them, maybe they're really into dabbing, they want something a little bit bigger, then I can scale it up, or I can just take this off and then, like, you know, say double it, you know, just kind of delete, say on this honeycomb here, if I just deleted this side, then I could extend it out and make a double din version, and then have, like, you know, super dab station or something like that. And this is, you know, high quality enough, it's super sturdy and strong. I've got plenty of basic filament to like stamp these out. Overall, this was 160 grams, I believe. It was less than 200 grams to print this. So less than 200 grams, that means we're looking at, let's say $1.25 in print. You know, I can factor in electricity and whatnot. That's really nothing. Wear and tear on the machine. Let's say $1.50, okay? Run it at $1.50. You know, if I sold this in the store for $5, which $5 is basically nothing now. $5 is a quarter in today's money. Then, you know, someone may buy it just to keep their stuff organized. And so that's a pretty healthy markup. You print 100 of these and, you know, you're in the money. It's just, you know, like the time to deal with it. But overall, this is most certainly a print it, pull it off the plate, and ship it. And I don't even have to ship it if that's the case. Which kind of leads into the other thing. I really think I've been underestimating the potential of printing things to sell in my stores. Because I just don't really see many products that I could do, but I think maybe I just kind of have to isolate and identify those products. So maybe that's a new avenue. We're going to be constantly exploring that as things move along, and I'll be sharing the analytics of what sells and what doesn't. I know it's not something everybody can do, but I can, so I'm just going to showcase what I'm doing day to day. So I'd love to know what you're working on in the comments below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. I'm the Technicals. See you next time.